Okay, we're back. Sorry, folks out there. I said nothing while you were gone. So, Robert Bitzer says, you have an insatiable desire to make your mark in the world. Your part is to make your choices, to choose where you're going, and then get aboard. Let the law of mind take over while we relax and enjoy the ride. You don't interfere with principle. The law knows how to get you there. We got a pilot, we got a plane, we have all this stuff. The law knows how to get us there. And it's able and it's willing to get us there. And it does its perfect work. He says your part is to choose personally what you want. You have to choose your personal experience. If you don't choose, it's going to fill your experience with the flotsam and the jetsam of the human race. It's got to create something. No one can do that part for you. But once done, right, you can then relax and give the law of mind complete freedom to do its work. You keep faith with it, and it keeps faith with you. So realizing that that's what's going on, he invites us to learn how to discriminate. So part 2 of this lesson is realizing that we need to fine-tune what we mean when we choose something, when we choose thoughts, when we choose where we want to go. We want to fine-tune it. Now we've got innocence and ignorance always present, which means I didn't know that I could have had this option. Right? When we're on this journey, we find out that somebody else got their trip for $100 less than you did. I didn't know that I could do via that way and get a better deal. And so as we learn that there are, and accept that we will always be ignorant and innocent about all that is available, we also realize that we can get clearer and clearer about what our desire is, and that we can trust the law more, and that this we do through practice. We can say, I don't know all that goes with this particular type of journey, but I can choose that it's going to be wonderful, that it's going to be easy, that lovely people are going to support me and help me on my way, that I will listen to the advice that's given to me, that I am guided, guarded, and protected, that I am having a wonderful time. We can make those choices, and as we get to know ourselves better and get better at using the law to create our world experiences, we can get better at it, and we are expected to. We're expected to get clearer. We're expected to get better at directing the law, because it responds to clarity, and we can always be clearer. And I love my story, and I know I've shared this with you a gazillion times, but I was coaching a young woman in this teaching years ago. We both worked at the law firm. I saw her every day. She was in college. I was, in this teaching. And she was taking all my counsel, all my education, all my teaching, all my treatment work, and using it on her own. And one day at the office, she said, I want excitement. And people here are nodding because you know the story, right? And I said, I'd think about that before you do spiritual work for excitement, because excitement is one of those words that could be interpreted negatively. Like excitement is excitement. It's not a very clear word. And she said, no, I want excitement. And so she did a treatment. She wanted some excitement in her life. And the next morning she came in and she said, oh my God, I got excitement. I get what you meant. I will never do it again. Apparently, on her way into work on the subway, someone decided to jump on top of the subway train, and the police were there, and they were running around trying to get the person off the top of the subway train, and she's trapped in some station somewhere. And I don't know. There was a whole lot of excitement. So we want to use our gift of choice to discriminate more and more. What do I mean? What do I really mean? I want something, and the best word I can come up with right now is excitement. But now I know don't use that word. So then what do I really mean? What do I really want to be experiencing? She and I, a few months later, we came up with a list of all these things that we were going to claim, and we decided to claim our lives are filled with wonderful surprises. She said, my life is filled with surprises. And I'm like, no, wonderful surprises. So we had adjectives. That's okay. Because once we're clear, the law will create it. If we're vague in our own thinking, the law's cannot create vague. So it's going to have to add the elements that it needs based upon the flotsam and the jetsam of the human race. The filler, packing materials that go on board. Whatever the majority of people who are around you are experiencing. They say, right, look at your 5 closest friends to see who you are. Well, look at your 5 closest friends to see what kind of filler the law is going to provide for you. Maybe that might be a clearer way to think about it, because the law has to create details. As it's moving you on that plane across the planet, it's got to have all the details working to make the plane work. And it's got to have all the details in the intelligence of the people who are driving the plane and the mechanics who are working on the plane. And it's got to have all the details in the atmosphere that is around the plane. It's got to have all those details. And we, not having the know-how to define all the details, also realize that we don't have to. All we have to do is say where we want to go. Where we want to go. Get on the plane and relax. Enjoy the ride as best you can. And if it's a miserable ride, but it got you where you want to go, then that's your long-term work. To change what you're thinking and believing all day long. The more we get into this teaching, the more we practice it, the less false belief we're allowed to get away with. And that's why people who have been on the planet for a long time start having situations develop in their physical bodies and their worlds that they never had their whole lives. They don't understand it. But it's the fine-tuning. They've got years of experience, years of know-how, and it lets us get away with our false beliefs and still run around relatively healthy, relatively happy, relatively productive. And at a certain point, no more. It's because the law never creates the same thing twice. So I've been there, done that, can't do it. It's going to be something new, and you've shaved away so many false beliefs. You've done great work, right? How many of us have had that experience of feeling rejected, right? And you've worked on it, and you've worked on it, and you really thought you mastered it, and then 10 years go by, and boom, it's there again, and you're like, whoa, I thought I mastered it. You did master it, but there's more shavings, there's more fine-tuning. The iceberg was deeper than you thought, and you can be even freer about that particular spiritual truth of oneness and harmony and love than you've ever been before. And that's what moves us. So, living the science of mind, as John use that book for inspiration about joy, is an art. And it's personal. Each one of us has our own personal experience that is affected by the spiritual journey we've been on all along. So all of the moments, all of the exposures, all of the practices, all of the demonstrations that we've had from day one of awareness to now are all setting us up for where we are now and where we are going. And it's for us to use all of this. So much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much understanding, so much evidence of how to relate to ourselves, right? How to manage ourselves. And that's everything. Managing yourself so that when you get on that next journey, not only will you end up where you want to go with all your luggage at the same time, but it will also be a thrilling and enjoyable experience the whole time. For me, with the fair, I realized not everyone was having, all the ticket scanners were not having the same experience as me. Because as I was leaving, there was one gentleman who I was saying goodbye to. He was working a different opening in the gate. He was so upset. He's like, oh, people, they're just, I can't believe what they do. Some people are just awful. Oh, he was just going on and on and on and on. Like, what people? They all went through your gate, not mine. And he's like, oh, well, there's this one woman, and she was asking me, she didn't have a ticket, and she was asking me, because at a certain point you could get in for free, but at 10:30, I guess, but it was 10 o'clock, and blah, 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 blah. And so she went off, and he figured she was buying a ticket or something, but then the next time he saw her, she was inside the fairgrounds, and he knew she had snuck in, and he was all upset and venting to me. And I said, I choose to not notice those things. Not my job. They didn't say run down after people who sneak into the thing. So, not my job, and I'm not going to think about it. Not on my plane, not on my journey. And so that actually made him feel better. He's like, oh, okay. So let it go, because it's the fair, right? It's there. The fair is there for fun. God creates events like that to express its joy. Only divine purpose for it. Joy. Your personal experience of it, you take ownership for. Right? Right. All right, so having said all that, I apologize to all those out there who aren't with me. Looks like no one is with me out there right now. I'm so sorry. But we'll keep acting as if you're there, or you'll see it another time. So, Reverend Rich, why don't you move us forward on our journey, giving us something to enjoy.
So many opportunities to do a peace song these days. You know, we don't need those opportunities, but now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday it's gonna come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Peace Right on the peace train. Oh, yo, come on the peace train. Peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump on the peace train. Oh, yo, come on the peace train. Get your bags together. Go bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer. Soon it will be with you. Now come on, join the living. It's not so far from you, and it's getting louder. Soon it will be all true. Oh, peace train sounding louder. Right on the peace train. Oh, yo, come on the peace train. I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Peace train sounding louder, right on the peace train. Oh, yo, come on the peace train.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the perfect song. That was the perfect song. We're riding on the peace train. The peace plane. Yeah, the peace plane. Well, some people ride on trains to get where they need to go. All right. So, Abby, good. Abby's here. All right, Abby, glad you followed us here. Let me do a closing treatment. So this word is being spoken for each one. One infinite mind and one tremendous creative power. These are the gifts that each one can use to choose where the movement of life shall take them, and even choose the experiences along the way. And so each one is now divinely guided with the infinite intelligence of the universe that knows all, and that knows all the possible permutations of what might be experienced and where one might go. This something that knows all, each one is relying upon it to take them where they choose to go, in grace, in ease, in comfort, in joy, in love, fully supported, with perfect right order and divine right action everywhere present, and surrounded by a veritable company of angels. And each one is enjoying this ride, this gift of life, and all the wonderful places that each one chooses to go. And every new place that one goes is even more wonderful than the past. I am grateful that this is the truth. Each one relaxes, points the way, and allows the law to take them there. The trip is done, and so it is. Okay. All right. Oh, Tropidelic. There's a song. Abby says, "It's my plane. I'm the pilot. All hands on deck to, I guess, open eyelids, gaze on our new horizons." Thank you, Abby. By Tropidelic. Tropidelic. All right. Goodbye, Abby. I guess you're the only one here. Goodbye. See you next week.